Hey guys, it's Proud Cat Lover, and today marks the beginning of my little mini-series I'm going to start doing. And each week I'm going to try to upload a video of one of my pets, and I'm going to tell you kind of like how I acquired them, and their age, different facts about them that you may or may not know, and just kind of a little informational video telling you about my pets and everything. So this week I'm going to do Blossom, and he is my oldest cat. He's 12, almost 13 years old. And we got him from a family friend that had had a cat. When they had moved into their house, this cat was just there, so they just decided to keep her. She was a calico. And it's kind of funny because Blossom is a blonde color, Gadget is gray, which is his brother, and then Toby is a tabby, like a silver tabby. That's the best way I could describe him. Gadget looks more like a Russian blue, if you know what that breed looks like, and Blossom just looks like a orange tabby. Except only Toby really has kind of stripes. Like Blossom's patterns are faded, and Gadget is just gray. So, but they had a cat, and they just kept her, and she ended up having kittens, which was Blossom, Gadget, and Toby. When we first got them, we thought that Blossom and Toby were girls, and we had been told that Gadget was a boy. And so these were our first cats. Like, my parents had had cats when I was younger, but these were our first cats, as like me and my brothers getting our own cat, you know, and it was so exciting. Travis, which is my youngest brother, was only like 4, and that would have made me like around 6.5 or 7 years old. So that's just how long ago, and I'm 22 now, so that's just how long ago we had gotten these cats. I mean, it doesn't feel that long, but Blossom's almost 13. He's 12 right now, so, I mean, it's a really long time, even though it doesn't feel like it. So, when we first got there, because Dad was like, we're going to go look at these kittens. We'd already been looking at kittens before. We'd gone out to a farm, and the kittens ended up being really sick. We didn't want to take them and, you know, have them and end up dying and, you know, getting attached to them, and that'd just be really hard on us being kids. So, we went to this guy's house. We walked in the garage, and I saw Blossom, and I was like, that's the one. I was like, that's my cat. Because I just loved orange kittens. Like, I had a Beanie Baby cat named Amber, and it was this old Beanie Baby that I got when I was younger for Christmas or my birthday or one of those. And I had always imagined getting an orange cat just like my Beanie Baby. And so when I saw Blossom and he looked just like my Beanie, I was like, that's the cat I'm going to get. And being the oldest, I had first dibs pretty much, or at least I had established that because I got there and I was like, picked him up right away and I was like, this one. So my middle brother ended up getting Gadget, which is the gray one, and then Travis ended up getting Toby. And, which Toby, we always just joked and called him the mama's boy because he'd always try to like nurse off of Blossom and Gadget. And Gadget is really funny because he's like the muscular brother. Blossom's more like the scrawny, thin brother, and then Toby's more like the fat brother. It's really funny that they're all three so different. And their attitudes are really different too. Like, Gadget has always been the type where he's always wanting attention. Toby's more the type that he wants to be around you, but it really depends on who you are, if he's going to let you pet him or not. And Blossom's the, hi, I'm Blossom, love me. And not in, like, cuddling way, like, he's gonna mark his scent on you by rubbing his face. He's gonna lay on you, you know, all that good stuff. And so, he's more the type that if we have a guest, he's going to be rubbing his scent all over them while the other two are hiding in the other room. But, so, we ended up bringing them home. We had to bring the mom cat with us, which we had just called Callie because she was a calico. And your little kids, you know, so... So... Blossom, I named Blossom because back then I liked watching the Powerpuff Girls, and Blossom was my favorite character, and back before we found out that Blossom and Toby were boys instead of girls, so Toby's name used to be Tiger Lily from Peter Pan. Zachary named his cat Gadget because he liked Inspector Gadget, so pretty much all of our cats ended up getting names from things that we liked. Pretty much. So, except Toby's name got changed. My youngest brother Travis just says that he named him Toby because we liked listening to this artist back then that was name was Toby Mac. And some of you probably know who this is. If you don't, look him up on YouTube. He has some good music. He's a rock Christian artist, I suppose you could call it. And he has some good music. So anyway, that's how they got their names. By the time Blossom was 1, he was already a real pain in the butt. He one time went into the bathroom when my middle brother Zach was in there and jumped in the toilet while Zach was peeing, and Zach peed on him. And it was pretty hilarious. That was when Blossom got his first bath. I remember running upstairs and being like, "Dad, Zach just peed on my cat." It was hilarious. Not so much for my dad, because he was the one who had to give him a bath. I was pretty young then, so I was just kind of like watching, and because I'd never bathed a cat before, so Dad was showing me how to do it, and we had dog shampoo that we used that we'd had from our dog Chanel, which we had at that time. She was a Shih Tzu. So when Blossom got to about the age of 5 is when he started having seizures, and it was pretty scary. If any of you have pets that have had seizures, or you've seen videos, or you've heard of people that have pets with seizures, you'll know it's a pretty serious thing. Like, how he's laying right now would be a good demonstration of how he'd normally lay when he was having seizures, except his legs would be all spread out, and his muscles would be tensing up, and his arms would be shaking like this. And his eyes would become real dilated, and he just wouldn't be able to move, and he'd kind of look around real disoriented, like, where am I kind of look on his face. And it was always really scary. Like, when it first happened, we took him to the vet like that day, but he had stopped having them, and the vet was like, well, most of the time it's more common in dogs than it is in cats. So for about 4 years, Blossom was on phenobarbital for seizures, and when I finally was able to take him off of it, which I think was a couple years ago, I'm going to have to look on my calendar because I used to write down whenever he'd had him, and he'd have to take a pill every day for it, and he used to take, I can't remember however many milligrams it was. It wasn't a very big pill. Obviously it's for a cat, so, but it was pretty scary because towards the last he had a seizure that was 3 hours long after he'd already been on pheno for a pretty long time. And it was pretty scary. I called the vet, and it was at night. And I had called her emergency number, and I was like, look, this is what's going on. Can you do anything? And she's like, we can have him overnight. We can put some phenobarbital into him. And she's like, that's pretty much all we can do. There's nothing really else we can do. She's like, I just suggest keeping him at your house. And if he makes it through the night, then good. If he doesn't pull out so well, then just be prepared. And I'm like, well, that's great. My cat could die tonight. She just told me to sit him up and make sure he was sitting up because where he'd been having it so long, his heart could actually become fatigued and the muscles could start squeezing around the heart and make it stop. So it was pretty scary. So I'm just really blessed that he's still here because I was prepared that night. I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, my cat could die today. So it was a pretty scary thing. But he is healthy now, or at least I hope so. He's kind of thin, even though he gets fed like 3 times a day on like a regular basis. So that's kind of concerning a little, but I'm just enjoying him for the longest that I can before I have to say goodbye. So, which will probably be hard because he is my oldest cat. So he has become a real sweetheart when he's gotten older. Like, he used to never want anything to do with me. And so now he's always sleeping on my pillow when I'm in bed, or he'll come up and he'll lay on my lap when I'm out in the living room, like watching TV or opening mail or whatever. He's always like right there with me now, and it's kind of funny. It's like he wants to be here with me instead of, you know, doing his own thing like he used to, which is kind of sweet. So that's pretty much how I got Blossom. I know I have a lot of talking that I've done, so I'm kind of sorry. I'm sorry that this video is so long. You all know that when I get on a topic where I've had this animal for a really long time, I end up talking a lot. So I might cut some of this stuff out, I might not, we'll see. But yeah, anyway, look forward to next week's video. It's probably going to be on Squeaky, Roxanne, or Rose, or Shadow, one of my other cats that I've owned or still own. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any suggestions, as always, for videos, feel free to comment in the comments below. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good day.